Welcome to my live stream. Welcome to my live stream. I'm going to wait till 1 minute 25 seconds so it usually gets cut off. Sorry. Thank you for coming. Welcome. I'm going to go check on the computer. I'm going to wait till 1 minute 25 seconds. So thank you for coming. I prepared a long introduction. So usually I wanted to record my message. I'm a little bit nervous right now, but thank you for coming. I prepared a long message I wrote for video. 1 minute 25 seconds because I know the recording takes a long time. Thank you for coming. I think I got a little frozen. Okay. 20 lineup. Every player that I chose has something to do with the year 2020. So first of all, rest in peace to Clifford Robinson. He passed away today. He died of cancer. He was only 53 years old. He was a great NBA player who was most famous for playing with the Portland Trail Blazers. His nickname was Uncle Cliffy. So I brought his card today from the auction house. So I have power forward. I have Clifford Robinson. Unfortunately, I got cut off. I'm way back to get back into the game. Hopefully it doesn't get cut off, but that was my introduction. Thanks for coming. I guess I'll just continue it. If my game loads or not. Thank you for coming. If you have to go, you can go. Have a great night. It's taking a long time to load. That's why I paused at 1 minute 25 seconds because it looks like the clock was not moving. And the reason I did this is because I started 1 minute 25 seconds because I noticed that in my recordings, watching my past live stream, it gets cut off at the beginning. And anytime that the game shuts down, it also gets cut off. Like right now, it will get cut off like later. And I might even try to cut this part off because it's like, okay, we're back into the game. Thank you for coming. I'm gonna check your I'm gonna check who came later. So I'm worried about if I could get into the game. I was not prepared that would be so slow. Although my live streams are always bad. Like the internet connection is bad. If you just came, you probably don't understand what's happening. But thank you for coming. I prepared a special lineup. And I just bought the Clifford Robinson card. And of course, he just passed away today. If you watched the Milwaukee Bucks Orlando Magic game in the beginning, they have a tribute to him. So this Clifford Robinson card, rest in peace to him. He just passed away today. He died of cancer, and he was only 53 years old. He was a great NBA player who was most famous for playing for the Portland Trail Blazers. His nickname was Uncle Cliffy. So I brought his card today, and hopefully you get to see the card. 1993, Clifford Robinson, 6'10" height. This is the stats. This is a special video, so I'm going to have a long introduction. So also, rest in peace to the great college basketball coach, Lute Olsen. Lute Olsen. He coached at the University of Arizona. He coached Mike Bibby, who is my point guard tonight. So I have Mike Bibby at my point guard. In 1997, Mike Bibby helped the Arizona Wildcats to win NCAA championship. And Lute Olsen, that was his first and only championship. So he's a great college basketball coach who coached many future players in the NBA, like Mike Bibby, Richard Jefferson, Gilbert Arenas. And for shooting guard, I have Victor Oladipo. And this is because Chadwick Boseman just passed away last night, the actor, the movie star. Rest in peace to him. And Chadwick Boseman in 2018 attended the NBA Slam Dunk Contest, which was in LA. And the Black Panther movie just came out in 2018. This is a Disney Marvel superhero movie, basically. So Victor asked Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan, another actor, to come sit courtside. And Chadwick Boseman gave him a Black Panther mask. And Victor Oladipo dunked in a Black Panther mask. And Victor Oladipo was still is an Indiana Pacer guard. He dunked in a Black Panther mask as a tribute to the movie that just came out, The Black Panther. Now, small forward, I have Giannis Antetokounmpo. Because of what happened in Wisconsin these past few weeks and the Black Lives Matter movement, the NBA players have almost boycotted the games, but they came back today and played today. So at small forward, you have Giannis. Now, at center, I have Yusuf Nurkic, who's playing very well right now for Portland Trail Blazers. But a couple weeks ago, his grandmother died because of the virus, and he's still playing really well and going strong, playing very well for the Portland Trail Blazers. So that's my lineup. Oh, also this is a 2020 lineup. I have Orlando Magic, Orlando Court, like the bubble, the NBA bubble. And for jerseys, EA gave us these Laker jerseys when Kobe Bryant passed away in early 2020. And I have Portland Trail Blazer jerseys because Clifford Robinson was played mostly for the Portland Trail Blazers, and he was a one-time All-Star and a one-time won sixth man of the year. So that's my lineup. Sorry for the long delay. So I'm gonna play against Facebook friends, then I'm gonna go check the comments. And I prepared a long kind of like information about Clifford Robinson to talk more about him. Now, this card, I never seen the card before, never seen the player, so I'll be quite interested to see what Clifford Robinson looks like. I just bought him, this card. So I have the ball first. So I'm going to give the ball to Clifford Robinson. I haven't even seen what he looks like. And this is what he looks like. Clifford Robinson, 1993, has a headband, red-looking shoes. And get the ball stolen, unfortunately. I'm very disappointed in the beginning that there was a lag. And it got shut off in the game. So my intro is a little bit long. And I wanted to... Let's get him to score first. Clifford Robinson, slam dunk to Clifford Robinson. Clifford Robinson, slam dunk. So autoplay, and then I'll check out my comments on YouTube. Thank you for coming, and if anybody's still here, thank you for coming. Joe Ingles with the ball. My opponent has Denver Nuggets jerseys, and I have Portland Trailblazer jerseys. As Clifford Robinson from rookie season on, playing for the Portland Trailblazers. Thank you for coming, and if anybody's still here, I am going to talk a little bit about Clifford Robinson. Looks like I'm the only person here. The GM Sports Fan Center Chill Production. NBA Gameplay, the GM Chill Production. Thank you for coming. Okay, so I think there's only one person here still that I see in the chat. I'll talk about. I prepared like information about Clifford Robinson. So I'm a little bit too young. So I've seen Clifford Robinson play in the NBA. He played in the 90s. So I'm a little too young to see him play. So I honestly don't know much about him, but I looked him up today. So he played in the NBA for a long time. He played in the NBA for 18 seasons. And Clifford Robinson was a one-time NBA All-Star in 1994. And he won the Sixth Man of the Year in 1993. He was also a two-time NBA All-Defensive Second Team, 2000 and 2002. Now, Clifford Robinson was drafted in the second round, 36 overall, by the Portland Trailblazers in 1989. And he will play all the way until the 2007 NBA season. So, Robinson's rookie season was 1989 and 1999 season. The Portland Trailblazers actually went to the NBA Finals that season and lost to the Detroit Pistons. So, the Portland Trailblazers that year, Robinson's first year, rookie year, they're actually a very good team. And they lost to the Bad Boys. Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, Joe Dumars. They lost to that team. And that will be the Bad Boys' second championship in 1990. As the previous year, the Detroit Pistons had also won their first championship against the LA Lakers. The last time the Showtime Lakers, Magic Johnson, Kareem would win. That's basically the last time they played together. Now, the Portland Trailblazers that year, when they went to the NBA Finals, their best player was Clyde Drexler. And they also had really great players like Terry Porter, Buck Williams, and Kevin Duckworth. Also, a fun fact that I saw after researching Clifford Robinson. In 2013, Clifford Robinson actually went to the CBS show Survivor. He went on that show as a participant. So, Survivor host Jeff Probst today also wrote on Twitter, rest in peace to Clifford Robinson, prayers to his family. Now, I looked up Clifford Robinson's stats in his career. In those first few seasons, Clifford Robinson was basically a six-man, a role player on the bench. When the Portland Trailblazers were winning. And his third year, 1991, 1992, that year, the Portland Trailblazers will make it to the NBA Finals. But they will lose to Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. The Chicago Bulls will win 4-2 against the Portland Trailblazers, and that would be their second NBA championship. Now, Clifford Robinson is actually famous for a moment in NBA history against Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is about to shoot a mid-range shot, and Clifford Robinson tries to guard him, ending on another player. And Michael Jordan makes the shot, makes the mid-range shot, and then Michael Jordan puts his arms up, as I kind of to show like, wow, I just made that shot, and that's iconic. Yeah, it's better if you actually see the moment and just me explaining it, but that's what I have written down. I'm gonna check the comments. Thank you for coming. If you have to go, have a great night. Yes, Clifford Robinson today passed away. Someone asked that. My opponent has Laker jerseys, and I have Portland Trailblazer jerseys. Now, Lute Olsen. I've seen coach college basketball for a long time, and coach University of Arizona for a long time. And of course, a lot of players that he coached for eventually played in the NBA, were drafted by the NBA. Like my point guard right now, Mike Bibby, drafted by the NBA, and played in the NBA for many seasons. Played for the Sacramento Kings, played for the Vancouver Grizzlies, who drafted Mike Bibby. Also, Jason Terry, who played for multiple teams, the Atlanta Hawks, Dallas Mavericks, all were coached by Lute Olsen. Also, some other players, Gilbert Arenas, who played for the Washington Wizards, and Richard Jefferson, who played for the New Jersey Nets and later Cleveland Cavaliers. So all those players, Luke Walton, who played for the Los Angeles Lakers, and Luke Walton, who's now the coach of the Sacramento Kings and was the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. He also played for Lute Olsen. I'm gonna autoplay some more. Now, Lute Olsen, I'm gonna look him up very quickly. He passed away a couple days ago. In 2019, he was hospitalized after suffering a stroke, and then he was moved to hospice care in 2020, and he died of at age 85. He had retired a long time ago and was of old elderly age. Now, at the University of Arizona Wildcats, he was the head coach for that team for 25 years. So he was a coach of Arizona from 1983 to 2007. And he only won one. He took that university to multiple NCAA tournament appearances. So many Sweet 16s, Elite 8s, and all that. But he only won one NBA championship. And that one NBA championship that he won was 1996, 1997. And that team, the best player on that team was Mike Bibby, who's my point guard right now. Now let's look at that team very quickly. There was a power forward named Michael Dickerson, who played in the NBA as well. He played for the Houston Rockets and the Vancouver and the Memphis Grizzlies. There was also Jason Terry, who played for that team. Of course, Jason Terry would play for the Atlanta Hawks. and the Dallas Mavericks and multiple other teams, and Jason Terry will win a championship with the Dallas Mavericks along with Dirk Nowitzki. Now another player that did not play in the NBA. At least I don't think he played in the NBA. No, he did not play in the NBA. But his name is Josh Pastner. And Josh Pastner will later become a head basketball coach. He'll be a head basketball coach in college basketball. So he will coach the Memphis Grizzlies. No, not the Memphis Tigers. University of Memphis. So Josh Pastner will coach for the University of Memphis Tigers. And later he will coach for the Georgia Tech University. In Georgia Tech, their mascot, I forget what it's called. There's like a bee. Yellow Jackets. I think there's like a little bee to their name. He's a very young coach, only 42 years old. And a fun fact, he's friends with Luke Walton as well. I think there was another player that made it to the NBA. Miles Simon. He's now assistant coach of the Lakers. And he played for the NBA only a little bit in 1999 for the Orlando Magic. So yes, lots of information. So if anybody learned something new, that would be great. Now again, I have Giannis at small forward. Because of what happened in Wisconsin these past few weeks. And social unrest, of course, happening this couple months with George Floyd and other incidents. Now, yesterday, a couple of days ago, the NBA players, LeBron James and the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis, have boycotted the games, or they decide not to play in the games, as the NBA basketball and sports is a distraction to the Black Lives Matter movement. And also there's a virus right now, of course, which is why Kyrie Irving decided not to play in the bubble, Disney World. Or for some reason, the players seem to have changed their mind, and today the Milwaukee Bucks and the Orlando Magic played again. So the playoffs are back on. I don't know what changed necessarily, because only like a day ago, TNT, they have a crew, Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Kenny Jet Smith was very angry about what happened in Wisconsin, and he, during their show, he immediately left the show. Of course, also my center, Yusuf Nurkic, who's playing right now for the Portland Trailblazers. And a couple weeks ago, his grandmother died due to the virus, and he's playing for her right now. He's going strong, playing very well for the Portland Trailblazer. A very underrated player, Nurkic is. And Nurkic, his religion is Islam, so he's actually a Muslim. And I'm looking up his country a little bit. So we often forget that a lot of these there's a lot of international players in the NBA. So Nurkic was born in Bosnia. I remember his religion is Islam. Bosnia Herzegovina. And the virus in many countries in East Europe, like in Russia, is actually really bad right now. And many players from the NBA are actually from Eastern Europe now, like Luka Doncic. Many players are from Serbia or former Yugoslavia countries. So we lose the game. The Black Panther actor, yeah, Chadwick Boseman died as well. And thank you, InfoSpot 411 for coming. And thank you, Intelligent Giant, for coming. Very quickly, I think I'm going to change my team as well. Of course, I don't want to stop it, but I noticed something. Last time I did the 5 Kevin Durant's. So that's why I'm Oklahoma City Thunder. But for Clifford Robinson, we had to change our team to the Portland Trail Blazers, of course. It doesn't really affect anything by changing it. You like the Knicks core? Yeah, Madison Square Garden. MSG, the Mecca of basketball. Oh, InfoSpot 411. If you're still here, what do you know about Clifford Robinson? Like, how was he as a player back then? Because I'm a little too young to. I never really watched him play. I only seen a little bit of highlights, and it's usually the Chicago Bulls playing against the Portland Trail Blazers. So how good was he as a player, Clifford Robinson? I'm gonna type up more. Check say a little bit more about Clifford Robinson. Now, Clifford Robinson played at the University of Connecticut, UConn, 1985-1989. UConn Huskies, which is a great college basketball program. Oh, his number was 00, 2 zeros. I think in the NBA he also was 00, 2 zeros. No. Right here the player says number 3. So Cliff Robinson was number 3. Slam dunk, Clifford Robinson. And like I said, that's the first time I ever played with this card. I never even seen it before. Clifford Robinson one time in Game 4 of the 1992 Western Conference Finals against the Utah Jazz, he performed a victory dance. He later told the press he was named Uncle Cliffy. So the nickname stuck with him for the rest of his career. So they call him Uncle Cliffy, which I never heard of before. And he was Iron Man, which means he played in multiple games, all 82 games. And looks like he played in 461 straight games without being absent. And this streak stands as a record for the Portland Trail Blazers. The Portland Trail Blazers today honored him as he's best known as a Portland Trail Blazer. In 1997, 2001, he signed with the Phoenix Suns as a free agent. That's his second team. Now, the Detroit Pistons. He played for Detroit Pistons in 2001, 2003. He played for the Golden State Warriors 2003, 2005. And he for the New Jersey Nets, his last team in 2005, 2007. Now, he actually playing with the Portland Trailblazers and Phoenix Suns, Detroit, he made the playoffs every year. And then when he went to Golden State, and Golden State at the time was a bad team, so he finally missed the playoffs when he was to Golden State. Now his career, Clifford Robinson. I'm looking at his stats. He averaged 14 points, 14.2 points a game, which is pretty good. The highest of his 1994-1995 season, he averaged 21.3 points a game. I believe that's the year he made the All-Star team. His one-time All-Star. It's a little bit laggy now. Hopefully, good. A little bit laggy. Thank you for coming. Janier Pantene, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I'm going to go for an hour. I decided to live stream. Unfortunately, it stopped, but I'm going to try to log back in. Very disappointed. Also very disappointed at the beginning that I logged off. Because I do want people later to see, especially my intro. Because I prepared a long time tonight for an intro to just kind of explain this video. So Clifford Robinson, I'm gonna wait till I go back into the game until I start talking. So hopefully it loads. That was quite fast. Thank you, InfoSpar411. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And then I try to log back into the game. Try to log back into the game. And then we're gonna try to play. Try to play some more. Sorry for the lag. Sorry for the lag. And I'm gonna start talking later. And I understand if you have to go. Have a great night. Have a great night if you have to go. Just checking something on my computer. So we log back in the game and let's hurry up and play some more games against Facebook friends. Still quite slow. Yeah, it's not working. Very disappointing. That's what happens during a live stream. Those cards pretty rare actually. A lot of legend cards are quite rare. And then in the auction house, If you press the legend campaign, they actually do not have these players listed, so you have to go and find them yourself. And I think these cards were found in people opening packs. Nothing's happening right now. So hopefully I don't get cut off this part. So I'm going to try to close the game. Still going to be here, but it's just can't log into the game. Let's turn it off, close it, and then start it again. Yeah, some days it's quite disappointing. Other days it's perfect, so I appreciate the support. I think InfoSpot 411 is still here. So sorry for the delay. Of course, it's very disappointing, of course. I want to have a clear live stream. There's a commercial right there. My ads just pop up on the phone. Let's hurry up and try to get into the game. Still here just working the night shift tonight. Thank you for coming, InfoSpot 411. I appreciate it. I wonder if I later watch my live stream, will this record or not? I don't know. But let's look at the NBA scores a little bit, the playoffs. A lot of people, the Lakers win tonight, 4-1. Lakers win 131 to 122 against the Portland Trail Blazers. So Lakers, a lot of people thought the Portland Trail Blazers, Damian Lillard, will upset the Lakers, but it did not happen. Like I said, LeBron James we trust. And LeBron James, he defeated the Portland Trail Blazers. Still be moving on. And Milwaukee Bucks, no surprise here, they defeated the Orlando Magic. I thought Orlando Magic maybe because they're at home, they're a home court team at the Walt Disney Orlando bubble. That's why I picked them. I thought they play well, and they did play well. They won one game, and but I thought they did pretty well. But they're like the hometown team, their home court. So that's why I picked them to play. The Orlando Magic make the playoffs. And they've done quite well. It looks like the Houston Rockets today blew out the Oklahoma City Thunder 114 to 80. And that's no surprise at all. The Oklahoma City Thunder have a lot of heart. And Chris Paul and everything. Chris Paul got traded this year, replaced by Russell Westbrook. But they're playing really hard. They're playing strong. But the Houston Rockets have more talent, and they have James Harden. And unfortunately, in basketball, if you have stars, more superstars, you usually win the game. It's not like football. Football is more the team. Hold on a second. So it looks like we got back into the game. Hopefully it records and everything. So let's just hopefully get back into the game, and the live stream continues. And we're in Orlando, the bubble. Let's autoplay it so I could talk. Thank you for 2 people that are still watching. I appreciate your support. I'm continuing to talk about today's events. So no surprise when the Houston Rockets win. They have more talent. Even the Thunder have a lot of heart. And there is a player, the shooting guard that defended James Harden, that has become quite famous. The announcers call him Lou Dort. Lou, D-O-R-T. And he's from Canada. He was born in 1999, and he's only age 21. This is his rookie year. He was undrafted in 2019 NBA draft. And he played for the University of Arizona State Sun Devils, which is actually the same team that a couple years ago James Harden played for the Arizona State Sun Devils. So they're both alumni from that university. Now his full name is Lute Olsen, if I pronounce it correctly. Luguentz. His last name Dort, D-O-R-T. Now his first name reminds me of some kind of like a classical musician from like the 1800s, like Beethoven or something like that. I don't know why, but his name sounds. I don't know how many Luentz, maybe. Is that a German name or Austrian name, or is that a French name? I don't know. But he's from Canada. He was born in Montreal, Canada. There was a lot of French people in Canada. Yeah, but there was a lot of tension on him. He guarded James Harden really well. Let's look at James Harden's age. This is something I like to do. Look at the age of all the players. So James Harden was born in 1989. So he's 31 years old right now. He was born in Bellflower, California. Went to Artesia High School. Which, if you know a little about Southern California, where I'm from pretty close to that area, LA area. And then Lute Dort was born in 1999. So he's only 21 years old. So there is actually, if I look at correctly, there's a 10-year age difference between the two, which is pretty amazing if you think about it. There's certain rookies that come to the NBA are so young. I know a lot of them now are born like 2001. So just think about that. James Harden was born. He was a baby, just born in the late 80s. Now the person guarding him, that just came to the NBA, a rookie, was born in 1999. And of course there's other players born in 2000, 2001. So that's pretty amazing to think about how young some players are. It also shows you sort of, it's usually around age 28 is a prime of an NBA player. The prime, the time of their life, basically when they're the best at basketball. It's around age 28 from what I've seen. Every sport's kind of different, but yeah. So that means that, before age 28, if you're in your 18 years old, 20 years old, you could be still very good at basketball. You could dunk really high, have amazing dunks. But it's usually around 28 when you start winning championships, when you start winning. That's your prime age. And after 28, in your 30s, you're kind of old, late 30s, really old, and many people retire. And very few players make it to age 40, 41, 42. Very rare does that happen in professional sports, and very rare does that happen in the NBA. Now, Clifford Robinson, he actually played a long time, 18 seasons in the NBA. So he might actually be one of the exceptions to the rule. Let's look at his age. So Clifford Robinson was born in 1966 in Buffalo, New York. And so in 2007, when he was in New Jersey Net, his last season, he actually played until he was 41 years old. So it's pretty old. So that's very rare. And he's not a Hall of Fame player. He only made the All-Star team one time, so he won't make it to the Hall of Fame. But he played for multiple teams. And he played until he's 41 years old. So think about that. How amazing that is to play basketball for that long. Look at Vince Carter, who just retired. He played for many seasons, similar to Clifford Robinson. And Manu Ginobili played many seasons in the NBA as well. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, just to name a few of them. And there are others, like Kevin Willis. I think Kevin Willis played in the NBA the longest. I think he played until he's like 43, 44. And he only made the All-Star team one time, just like Clifford Robinson. Kevin Willis. I know of him from his best team, I think, is the Atlanta Hawks, Kevin Willis. But he played for multiple teams as well. So these, Clifford Robinson, they call him Iron Man. So he definitely was an Iron Man. It said he died, he had cancer. I don't know what cancer, what kind of cancer, they don't say. But they passed away and he died in his home in Portland, Oregon. So Clifford Robinson, most famous for Portland Trail Blazers. After he retired, brought a home and lived in Portland, Oregon, where he passed away today. Now, Clifford Robinson, after he retired, I don't really see much of him. I don't really see him on TV, or at least not nationally. I never seen him on ESPN. I honestly never see him talk or have an interview before. So I have to look that up on YouTube. I never actually seen him. I never see him talk, which is quite interesting. But I'm maybe too young. By the way, I watched Kevin Garnett pretty much my whole life when he was a Minnesota Timberwolf and until he retired. And Kevin Garnett, I never heard him talk before. I don't know why, but I never heard him talk before in an interview. But later, when he retired, he went on TNT. And he talked. And the first time I ever heard of him talk. Now, this is Season 3 court, a throwback court. I forget the name of this promo, but it's kind of like the Miami Vice, Miami Heat. It wasn't Miami Heat, but it's like a Miami Vice court. Beautiful court. My opponent has it. That's his court. Mr. Logics, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And it looks like there's 3 people still here. I appreciate you coming to my live stream. How are you? And hope you are well. Yes, in this video, if you just came, this special lineup. Every player, because of the year 2020, every player has something to do with 2020, basically. Most of it deals with a lot of the death, the tragedy that happened in the past few days. So we got Clifford Robinson with a 3-point shot. Clifford Robinson just passed away today. Now, Clifford Robinson, speaking of 3-point shots, Clifford Robinson actually, it says on Wikipedia, he was 6'10", and he was the tallest player to make more than 1,000 3-pointers until he was surpassed by Dirk Nowitzki and Rashard Lewis later in the NBA. So, I mean, in the 90s, they did not shoot many 3-point shots. But it looks like Clifford Robinson was the rare exception. In the 90s, they shot more mid-range shots, 2-pointers. But Clifford Robinson could actually shoot the ball. And that means basically Clifford Robinson, if he played in today's NBA, in this era of three-point shooting, this era of Curry and James Harden, three-point shooting, Klay Thompson, he will probably fit right in. Now, Clifford Robinson, he made 1,253 threes in his career, which is pretty amazing. And it says on Wikipedia, among players who qualified 2015 class of the Basketball Hall of Fame, comparing them to other players, Robinson ranked 5th among all players for field goals made, and 1st among those 6 feet 10 inches or taller. So pretty interesting stats. Even though he's a one-time All-Star, he played really well in the NBA. That's why he had such a long career. I'm just reading this now. So 2017, Robinson resided in the West Hills of Portland, Oregon, as he played for the Portland Trail Blazers. He retired and he still lived there, which means he loved the city. Well, I accidentally pressed that, so this team is the other team. So this one does not have Clifford Robinson. I accidentally pressed that really quickly. So this team is just my regular team. So very interesting stuff. Well, let me go back to say what I was going to say. So he lived in Portland, Oregon. In 2019, he underwent surgery for cancer treatment. So it looks like in 2019, he had cancer and underwent surgery. And he died in 2020. At the age of 53, he died today. So I did not know much about him. I did not know he had cancer. It looks like in 2017, Robinson suffered a stroke in 2017 that paralyzed the left side of his body. But he soon recovered much of his arm and leg movement. Then Robinson had a tumor removed from his jaw in March 2018. Wow, so he had been going through a lot of health problems. He was only 53 years old, so he was quite young in terms of life. So it's sad that at the end of his life, he seems to have gone through a lot of health problems, a stroke, a tumor, and cancer. That's very sad to hear. But in 2003, September 21, 2003, he married Heather Lufakins on the island of Barbados. So he had a wedding in that country, in the island country. He has a son named Isaiah Robinson who played basketball for the Jefferson High School Democrats in Portland and the Houston Baptist Huskies. So he has a son. I never heard of his son, but maybe one day he'll make it to the NBA or play in college basketball or something. As you see, a lot of NBA players have great genes. And as you know, Manu Bol, who also passed away, his son is Bobo. And he's in the NBA right now, playing for the Denver Nuggets. So there's a lot of father-sons in the NBA. Dell Curry. Of course, the father of Stephen Curry, the great NBA player from Golden State, and Seth Curry, who plays for, I believe now, the Dallas Mavericks? Yes. Okay, now let's go play another game. Thank you for coming. I've been talking a lot. I have a lot of websites and info prepared to talk about today's events in this lineup. I'll say this is what I love about basketball games. What I love about the NBA Live Mobile is that it's actually the legendary players. I don't know why, but I love thinking about the legendary players, and even if they're just role players, I always love getting their cards. I'm very happy when I get those cards. My opponent has Cleveland Cavaliers throwback jerseys. I wasn't paying attention, but you asked him a question. He passed away today of cancer. And it looks like he had a lot of health problems. I don't know if this, did I already say what type of cancer? Now, Chadwick Boseman today, yesterday, he died of colon cancer. He had been battling for 4 years. Drip Projections, yo, thank you for coming. And then, yeah, and I did not know that Chadwick Boseman even had cancer. And it looks like when he was filming Black Panther and all those movies, he had cancer, which is just shocking to me that he was strong enough to make those movies. Now, Black Panther is a very important movie for the African American community. As Victor Oladipo drives in for a dunk. And that would be his most famous movie, Black Panther. It was also nominated for multiple Oscars. That movie, that's his most famous movie. And he's a very young person, Chadwick Boseman. The first time I ever heard of him was when he played Jackie Robinson in the movie 42. That movie came out in the summer. And that movie also has Harrison Ford, also a great movie star. Now, that movie came out in 2013. So Chadwick Boseman has been playing a lot of black icons, very famous African American icons after that movie. As I said, he played Jackie Robinson, but he later would play James Brown, the famous African American singer on Get On Up. Now, that was directed by Tate Taylor. Now, Tate Taylor, he directed The Help. So I remember that movie. Got some Oscar buzz, but Chadwick Boseman did not get nominated for an Oscar. Chadwick Boseman also played Thurgood Marshall, the great African American Supreme Court judge in the movie Marshall. And yes, yesterday I saw Josh Gad, who's from the voice of Olaf from Frozen. He said rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. So that's where they met. Because I didn't know that they met before. So Josh Gad is in also this movie Marshall, 2007, about Dermond Marshall, the first African American Supreme Court justice. So in his short career, he's played a lot of different African American icons. Chadwick Boseman. Let's get these tokens. And it's pretty sad because you're a movie star and you're a millionaire. And your life is great, you think. You think your life is great. You probably have a lot of money and a lot of girls that beautiful women and stuff like that like you. But then you suddenly just pass away. You have cancer. And you just pass away. That's pretty messed up. And pretty sad for sure. Let's get into this game. Clifford Robinson, he actually won the six man of the year in 1993. So in the first few seasons of the NBA, he won the six man of the year award. Oh, fun fact. Clifford Robinson, he died today, and Danny Ainge, well, rest in peace, and condolences to his family. But Danny Ainge, a famous Boston Celtic guard, he actually played with Clifford Robinson, I think in Portland. And then later, when Danny Ainge retired, he actually became later the coach of the Phoenix Suns. And then he actually coached Clifford Robinson, and that was Clifford Robinson's second team. So in 1992, 1993, Clifford Robinson won Sixth Man of the Year. Now, a season later, Dell Curry, Stephen Curry's father, will win Sixth Man of the Year in 1993, 1994. So it's always interesting to look up who won Sixth Man of the Year. Previous year, 1991, 1992, Draft Shrimp from the, I don't know if that's how you even pronounce his name, Draft Shrimp, Indiana Pacers, won Sixth Man of the Year. And all these older, but Anthony Mason, who passed away a couple years ago, won in 1994, 1995. And in my opinion, these are fan favorite. I love the Sixth Man of the Year players. And once in a while, you will see, not a lot of them, but you'll see some Hall of Famers that won Sixth Man of the Year and later became Hall of Famers. Just to note a few. Kevin McHale, 1983, 1984, and 1984, 1985, won back-to-back Sixth Man of the Years for the Boston Celtics. And then 1985, 1986, Bill Walton, who was, of course, a Portland Trailblazer great, won the Portland Trailblazers' only lone championship. But he later got injured and later played for the Boston Celtics. And 1985, 1986 won a Sixth Man of the Year. So those are some of the Hall of Famers. The rest players are really good, but did not make it to the Hall of Fame. But some more recent players, Manu Ginobili, who will definitely make it to the Hall of Fame due to his international career. Won a gold medal in 2004 for Argentina. Sorry about that. There's a commercial. Let's get back into the game. So Manu Ginobili for sure will be in the Hall of Fame. Let's get back into the game before I talk. 34% battery. Now, James Harden, 2001, 2012, won Sixth Man of the Year for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And he for sure will make it to the Hall of Fame. So pretty much those two that I see. The rest are great Sixth Man, will not make it to the Hall of Fame. So pretty much, Bobby Jones, 1982, 1983. I don't know too much about Bobby Jones, but I'll look him up. How many All-Stars did he made? 4 All-Stars. Played for the Denver Nuggets, Philadelphia 76ers. They do have his card in the game. So in all, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there will be only 5 total players that will make it to the Hall of Fame as Sixth Men, or former Sixth Men. And I'll say the 5 people again. Bobby Jones, Philadelphia 76ers. Kevin McHale, Boston Celtics, who won Sixth Man of the Year back-to-back twice. Bill Walton, Boston Celtics, Portland Trailblazers, won it once after he got injured and became a Sixth Man. And then Manu Ginobili, San Antonio Spurs. And then James Harden, Oklahoma City Thunder, and of course now Houston Rocket. He will be in the Hall of Fame for sure. First ballot, James Harden. Hi, Sims Marianne. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I was looking at articles. So, thank you for coming. And the rebounder, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I was just looking at articles talking about the Sixth Man of the Year award. Now, for the new people that just came, Clifford Robinson today, he passed away. He was a great NBA player. Played in the NBA for 18 seasons. Was like 41 years old when he retired. And he passed away today of cancer. He lived in Oregon, Portland, Oregon. And he had a great deal of health problems. He died today, only 53 in Michael Jordan's career. Can keep missing the shot. It's happened in 2020. Things that happened in 2020. I also had Lakers Kobe Bryant jerseys, but my team is lower overall, so you only see the Portland Trailblazers jerseys. And Clifford Robinson, of course, played for the Portland Trailblazers. All right, let's look at the comments. It's kind of laggy. It's laggy on the computer. Sims Marion, last time comment you said that you're cooking breakfast. Normally in breakfast, I actually enjoy watching your videos. Your commentary is very good, and then you have a lot of the memes and the jokes. This court is Super Bowl court. You have 30% of phone on, so I'm going to go all 30 until my phone ends. I appreciate your support. If you have to leave, it's okay. Have a good day. Now, Victor Oladipo, because Victor Oladipo, one time in the slam dunk contest in 2018, Chadwick Boseman came to the dunk contest and gave him a mask. Sometimes in the slam dunk contest, they have a special dunks to make it more interesting. And then Chadwick Boseman handed him a mask of the Black Panther. And Victor Oladipo dunked in a mask of a Black Panther. Victor Oladipo is a shooting guard for the Indiana Pacers. That's why he's my shooting guard in this special lineup. So let's talk about Victor Oladipo. I know a little bit about him. So Victor Oladipo is actually a singer. He loves singing. And one time there's a hit show in America. It actually originated in South Korea. It's called The Masked Singer, and then one time he participated in that. Victor Oladipo loves singing. In fact, you look at his Twitter, there's like an emoji, the microphone singing emoji. So he really loves singing, Victor Oladipo. Yeah, I don't know if you guys watch The Breakfast Club. It's something that trends on Twitter. They're African American radio broadcast interviewers, and one time they interviewed Victor Oladipo about his singing. And usually basketball players just play basketball. They don't really sing or have much of a career other than basketball. Some of them try to rap, but usually it does not work well. I know Kobe and Shaq both try to rap, and Kobe, of course. I mean, Shaq was in a lot of Hollywood movies. Blue Chips, and I forget, there was a genie movie. I forget what it was called. In fact, I'll look it up. I want to call it Shaft, but that's the Samuel L. Jackson movie, and that's not right. But in the 90s, he was very popular, and then he was a movie star. Because Shazam, yes. And people make fun of that movie like Shazam. Is this Shazam? Kazam. Just wrote it wrong. Kazam, the movie starring Shaq. It was a movie called Blue Chips, and that's where he met Penny Hardaway for the first time. As he was Penny Hardaway, University of Memphis, who's now the coach of the University of Memphis. They met on that film set. Blue Chips. I heard the Orlando Magic, who had a number 1 overall pick, wanted to pick Chris Webber and keep him. They did draft him, but they traded for Penny Hardaway. But Shaq said he wanted to play with Penny Hardaway because he met him on the set of Blue Chips, about a head coach. This is Shaquille O'Neal's first movie. I think he's only in it for a little bit. Yeah, and the movie star from Blue Chips, a 1994 movie, stars Nick Nolte. Was a big movie star back then. And I've seen that in the library sometimes, that movie. VHS. Does anybody still have VHSs? Probably not. And it looks like Shaq was also in Kazam 1996. He plays like a genie character. And people make fun of that movie a lot because it's really like bad acting. And then he was also in a movie called Steel. I've never seen this movie. Looks like he's trying to play like a RoboCop type of movie. Very funny person, Shaquille O'Neal. Also, Shaquille O'Neal is good friends with Adam Sandler. And Adam Sandler casts him in his movies a lot. He's in Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2. And recently, Shaquille O'Neal was in a movie called Uncle Drew, starring Kyrie Irving, based off the commercial. I think it was a Pepsi commercial. So, a lot of Hollywood, NBA players in Hollywood movies. Of course, LeBron James was just cast in Space Jam 2. I think they're about to film it or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see what that does. And by the way, LeBron James, very intelligent person, and that's why he signed with the Lakers, so he could become a Hollywood producer and movie star, right? And he's already producing a lot of Hollywood